Good morning, my name is Manfred Lichty, here live at East Coast Park during my walk this morning. Let me quickly introduce myself. I'm a Swiss citizen who has lived in Singapore for the last 24 years. I was a banker in my career for 30 years. Just over 20 years I worked for the Swiss bank UBS and did various other management jobs in the banking industry. My last job was I was a group executive of the Australian bank ANZ and their global head of private banking. As such, in my banking years, I have had many clients who are entrepreneurs. I have seen many successful entrepreneurs who made a lot of money in various businesses, and I have always regarded the entrepreneur as something I admired. I always admired the entrepreneurs and had a lifelong dream to become an entrepreneur myself. Have my own company, define my own corporate culture, hire my own people, and name my own company. That was always a dream I have realized in the last few years when I switched from a banking career to an online entrepreneur career, which I have been focusing on recently, and that's what I'm doing now. And I'm very much interested in transferring my knowledge to other people and help other people to be successful as well, in a way they have defined their businesses, not in a way they are told to when they're employed by other companies. That's sort of the purpose why I put together this entrepreneurship course, which I will tell you more about in the next few minutes. Good morning, everybody. My name is Manfred Lichty, and I'm talking to you from my morning walk, heading towards East Coast Park. It's a wonderful morning in Singapore today. And as you know, we're wearing the masks given the current COVID-19 situation. But the topic today I want to talk about is entrepreneurship. The word entrepreneur comes from French. The verb entreprendre, which means to undertake. So an entrepreneur is an undertaker, which makes perfect sense if you translate it into German, ein Unternehmer. Der Unternehmer in German, the undertaker. Entrepreneurship is a very big topic, and it means different things to different people. One general misconception, I think, what an entrepreneur is not. A small business owner is not necessarily an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are people with a special mindset. They solve problems, they challenge the status quo, they're naturally curious. So that's not necessarily the skill set every small business owner has. On the other hand, it's possible that you may find entrepreneurs employed in big companies. The question is, what does entrepreneurship mean to you at this current state? Are you preparing to go on your own, launch your own business, maybe market a product you have developed or you're developing? Or does your family own a business and you're about to take that over from your parents? Or may entrepreneurship simply mean a last resort for you? Maybe you lost your job in a corporate restructuring and you're thinking that going on your own, becoming your own boss is the way to go. Whatever the situation might be, in your case, what is clear is such a step requires careful planning. And maybe you need to ensure that you have the buy-in of your family, because once you work just from home, that can be a big change. That your family members understand when you're working that you are not meant to be disturbed, that you have to concentrate and to focus. So it can be a big change to work from home. There are lots of things that can distract you, be that the kids, a TV, or music, or what have you. So it's important that you can stay focused on the task at hand. I have spent the last few weeks to think extensively about entrepreneurship. And I have written down everything I know on the topic. I ended up with probably close to 200 A4 pages of written material, which I then organized into 8 chapters. That's the format my new course is going to be delivered over 8 weeks, a chapter per week. The delivery of the learning content will happen in a virtual classroom with a Zoom technology. We can all be together in a virtual classroom, and those lessons are being presented by reading material, video lessons, as well as an encouraged discussion. Once per week, our whole learning group will meet for a group coaching session where we can hold discussions related to the learning materials and where all your questions will be answered. Now, to become an entrepreneur, if I can use an analogy, it's like climbing a mountain. I'm sure all of you have seen documentaries about climbing Everest, etc. Sorry, it's a little bit noisy. That's the highway just by my side here. So yeah, back to the mountain. If you plan to climb a mountain like Mount Everest, the tallest in the world, that's not something you do on a Saturday afternoon. It requires lots of planning. It's a long journey. You move yourself to the base camp where you set out your journey, and then the next few weeks you walk up and down the mountain to acclimatize yourself to the altitude, because failing which could end up in a deadly adventure. The same is with entrepreneurship. You try a lot of things. You go this way. If you're an online entrepreneur, you split test your landing pages, for example. You split test pictures. Your whole online content is a constant testing, back and forth, up the mountain and coming back down. It's like acclimatizing yourself to the entrepreneurial environment, to test your target market. Target market is the people who are supposed to buy your product or your solution. Okay, so the course I put together is delivered over 8 weeks. I already mentioned that, and it covers the following topic. It starts with an overview, an introduction to the course. Then we dive into the definition of entrepreneurship, the word, etc., where it comes from, what it means. Then we cover the most commonly made financial mistakes of entrepreneurs. We discuss 5 key business concepts every entrepreneur must know to have success. That's clients, the markets they operate in, the product or solution they offer, the pricing, supply and demand, and the cost structure of your own company. You need to be able to differentiate between fixed costs and variable costs and understand how the whole mechanism works together. I take off my mask for a while because it's getting very hot underneath the mask and there's no one else around here, so I think that should be okay. So, I want to share with you a mistake I made when I set up to become an entrepreneur, an online entrepreneur. I made the mistake that I first defined my product. So that's a very commonly made mistake. People come up with a product and then search for a market for that product. That's the wrong way around. The right way to do it would be to define your target audience. You need to know who exactly your customer would be. So for this entrepreneurship course, for example, the target audience is aspiring entrepreneurs or existing entrepreneurs at early stage, students, or even people, as I said earlier, who might be jobless and are looking for a new way of making money. So what are we aspiring by becoming entrepreneurs? We are our own boss. That means you're the person where the buck stops in your company. You take decisions. Entrepreneurs have to be able to take decisions on a daily basis. And of course, we want to make money. We perhaps dream of financial freedom. That means that we can hopefully work less and spend more time with our family, with our friends and our loved ones. That's a key goal many entrepreneurs have. Perhaps your dream is to build your own company, employ your own people, build the team, define the culture of your company. I'm sure there are plenty of people around who are somewhat frustrated in bigger companies, be that because of culture or because of superiors. So to many it must be a dream to define all these things yourself and to decide how your corporate culture looks like, who works there, etc., etc. To start up as an entrepreneur on your own, your environment is very important. So ideally your family is informed of what you're doing or envisage to do and buys into the concept to support you. You will always find people who will tell you not to do that, who tell you not to take the risk and just search for a new job. You have to learn how to mute those comments. There are always people who think they have to give you advice. If they give you advice which is unsolicited, just tune it out and don't listen to it. However, one ground rule is this: if highly qualified people offer you advice, take it. This is one of the goals of this course, with weekly coaching sessions that we create a dialogue among the members, the course participants, with myself. I'm very keen on doing this because oftentimes when a concept is on paper not entirely clear, once we start talking about it and making examples, share experiences, things become clearer for the person who has to learn these things. What this course will do, it will offer you a transmission. It will ensure that your mindset is the mindset you need to have when you set out to be an entrepreneur. We specifically focus on that in our second course chapter, which is called the entrepreneurial mindset and the manifestation of your goals and your dreams. Manifestation of your goals means to visualize your goals. If someone asks you, where do you see yourself in 10 years from now? It's important that you have a clear picture of what that situation in your mind looks like. That's what we call visualization of a dream or a goal. And it's a very, very important aspect of entrepreneurship. You need to also be clear about your why. Why are you doing this? And don't say to make money, because that's what we all say. That's not a valid reason of the why statement to make money. The why statement is a couple of sentences which describe what your motivation is. Why do you want to become an entrepreneur? Might that be to have more time with your loved ones, for example, or spend more time with your family. We will also discuss entrepreneurial financing. So what are the tools you have available to finance your company, to finance your venture? And one very important thing that is a key aspect of every business plan is the entrepreneurial exit strategy. What is your plan with that business? Do you want to build a perpetual business which runs over the next 25 generations? Or do you want to sell out at some stage? These steps have to be planned. Whether you sell it, whether you plan to liquidate it, maybe you plan to list it, that would be an IPO, turn your company from a private company into a public company and list it at the stock exchange. However, a certain size would be required to do that most lucrative exit strategy of all, most likely. And the final chapter of my course will teach you, is literally a guide that teaches you step by step to set up an online business. That starts from your target audience, define exactly who your target audience is, which niche you want to operate in. It then covers the business model you want to choose. Are you going to create your own product and market and sell it? Or are you going to market and sell products of other people as an affiliate marketer? That means you would sell someone else's product, and with every sale you make, you get a commission credited, affiliate commission. Or would you engage into CPA marketing or whatever your game might be? We will teach you what the best platforms are. Online shop platforms like Shopify, Weebly, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, etc. and how to use those platforms. How you market your product. Whether you have a email marketing business or you would market your solutions via social media. You would probably build your email list. That's the saying in internet marketing, the money is in the list. The bigger your email list is, the more money you should be able to make. All these things we will discuss, and I'll share my experience, and what I will also do is invite real entrepreneurs from the real business world to come and exchange themselves with you, act as guest speakers, share their experience, etc. to give you a forum as wide as possible to cover the topic and prepare your mind perfectly for your new venture when you start off. Another key aspect of every entrepreneur is to have realistic expectations. Usually the world looks very different whether we draft it on a piece of paper versus the reality. As a rule of thumb, remember, it usually takes longer and it costs more than we initially think. That's probably the reality. Entrepreneurship means there will be knockdowns, setbacks, disappointments, frustrations. That's where your why statement needs to be strong. That's when your why statement, your reasoning comes in to push you forward when you're knocked down. Entrepreneurial success doesn't come overnight, so there is no such thing as a get-rich overnight scheme. It's all hard work and dedication that is necessary for success to come. How would I define success? Successful is the one who manages to stand up one more time than you were knocked down. If you look at a boxer in the ring, it doesn't mean the winner cannot go down as long as he gets up again and continues to fight. That's the important aspect. The one who keeps down and is counted off till 10 loses the fight, and that's not the situation we want to be in. So, my course is more or less ready. It will be launched on the online course platform Thinkific, and if you're connected to me, you will be informed via social media or what have you about the exact launch details. If you are not connected to me, please feel free to leave your name and email address in the comments to this video, and I will be in touch with you and keep you informed. I'm very excited about this new course opportunity, and I hope to be able to welcome many of you in the classes to come and tackle the entrepreneurship topic together, climb that mountain together. We'll start off at base camp, probably, what's a realistic course date to start? It's probably early next month. we are already mid-April, so early May is realistic that we will start our first class, and I hope to be able to welcome many of you to that first class. I'm very motivated to push ahead with this and hope to get to know many of you personally in the course of this venture. So thank you for joining me this morning. I'll finish my nice walk here at East Coast Park, almost no people around, and I will be in touch with you very, very soon. Thank you very much for listening and watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.